the United Nations. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about United Nations and the organs of United Nations. Now we are discussing. Okay, beta, Rumesa. Okay, I'm trying, beta. Okay, last week we have discussed, as I told you, the organs of United Nations. Now we are discussing the agencies of United Nations, how they work, how they help the other countries throughout the world, so how they work. So we will discuss all the agencies of United Nations. And this topic is also present in your book on page number 4. Is it clear? Open your books, take a notebook and a pencil with you, and you can underline the important lines in your book and also write down any type of important point or important thing in your notebook. Don't worry, beta, Ali. Don't worry about attendance. Okay, let's start. So, beta, we are discussing about the agencies of our, as we know that we are discussing about United Nations. So, there are many other specialized agencies of United Nations. You have read about that the aim of the United Nations is not only to stop war, but to prevail peace in the world. So, prevailing peace and keeping peace in the world is the main aim of United Nations nowadays, and as well as it was the aim of at the time of formation of United Nations. So this is the main aim. With this aim, it has also the aim to prevent the and eradicating poverty and helping the nations of the world to development and promote peace loving ideas among their citizens. And these are the specialized agencies of United Nations look after these areas where they are where they are needed in need, and some of them are described on the following pages. And the page number is, beta, I am telling you, Subhan, page number 4 and 5. Is it clear? Page number 4 and 5. Is it clear? So, these are the agencies with the name UNICEF, UNESCO, FAO, WHO, ILO, and World Bank. Okay, beta, check your device, beta. Okay, beta. These are the names of the agencies which are helping the other countries, which are working with the other countries' governments, and they help the government in. Okay, aims of the United Nations. As I told you, the aims of the United Nations is not only to stop war when it starts, but also to prevent it through eradicating poverty and helping the nations of the world to develop and promote peace-loving ideas among citizens. So these are the main aims of United Nations, as we have discussed in our previous lecture. So for this purpose, United Nations established specialized agencies. Okay, beta. Next one is look at the names of the agencies: UNICEF, UNESCO, FAO, WHO, ILO, and World Bank. Now we will discuss all these agencies of United Nations in detail, and we will discuss about their work, their participation throughout the world. Okay, is it clear? Beta Rumesa, I'm trying. Please check your device also. Please check your device. Beta, your homework will be uploaded today on Google Classroom after your lecture. Is it clear? Now be focused towards your lecture. Open your books. Keep with you a notebook and a pencil or pen. Now we are starting, and this is most important lecture, and these are the most important agencies. Is it clear? Okay, Rumesa beta, most welcome. Don't discuss anything with each other. I'm giving a warning to you all. Please be focused towards your lecture and don't disturb anyone. Behave like good students, and you are good students all. Okay. First of all, we will discuss about the first agency, and it is the most important agency of this topic, and its name is UNICEF. Now look at your screen. United, it means it is the abbreviation of United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. So it is the abbreviation of all this name, UNICEF. So if we will read it, or if we will see in detail, it is called United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. Its headquarters is in New York. Here, its headquarters is in New York. All this is present in your book also. Please underline these important lines as well, or write down the important points in your notebook. Okay. It was organized by the General Assembly, and discuss all these agencies, and I will also tell you about the organization of these agencies one by one. And please write down it in your notebook. It was organized by the General Assembly, and we have discussed the General Assembly in our previous lecture. So, what are its functions? Protection of children's survival, health, and also other human beings. Provides funds for training personnel in health and stimulation workers, teachers, and nutritionists. So basically, this is the main purpose of this organization: protection of the children's survival, health, and their education as well. To make efforts to prevent diseases, provide help to children and mothers in emergencies, to help government to plan to develop best services in fields like maternal and health, clean water. These are the and sanitation. These are the basic purposes of the UNICEF, but the main purpose is to protect children's survival and their health and education, and it shows through its name also. What is the name? United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. It collects the different types of the fund for the help of the children. Is it clear? So we will discuss all these points as well. Like it was organized by the, as I told you earlier, that it was organized by the General Assembly, as UNICEF helps children all around the world. It provides the care and stimulation they need in their early years. It means it helps those children who cannot afford education, good health. So it also collect the funds from all over the world and will take care and stimulate these type of the children, especially in their early years. Is it clear? It encourages families of these children to educate their children, and especially it also focuses that these families should educate their girls and boys equally. Is it clear? And which are these families? These families are those who cannot afford to give good health facilities or good education and good schooling to their children. So UNICEF tries to protect these children. It also helps. It also helps those children who are the beggars or who are belonging these type of the families. So it encourages these families and give the funds and ensure towards these families to educate their girls and boys equally. So it works to protect children in the midst of the war also. When anywhere war is started, then it protects the children, these children who have not any type of home or families. The UNICEF also gives protection, gives good education, housing, shelter. It also gives shelter in the days of the war to these type of the children. And also it also helps these children in the national disaster as well. So is it clear? Okay. So it provides all type of the help to the children of the world. Its focus is especially on the children in the developing countries of the world. Because in developing countries, these type of the families are there in great number who cannot be able to give their children good schooling, or where the children are working as a labor in many fields. So UNICEF tries to help those type of the children, and especially it works in the developing countries of the world, because they are very often having basic health and educational facilities. UNICEF also works for these children through their country's government, and also involves other people and organizations, like many kind of NGOs. So it works with the help of the, as you can see also this point is present on your screen, to help governments to plan and to develop to these type of the, and to give the best services in the field of the education and in the field of the health. Is it clear? Are you listening me? Okay. UNICEF also received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965. Is it clear? It received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965. Okay, beta. Next one is UNESCO. Okay. UNESCO, as it is clear through its name, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, and its headquarters is in Paris. It has different types of the departments. Like it works in educational field, it also works in scientific fields, and it also works in the field of cultural. It means it also gives help the in saving cultural heritage. Is it clear? So, scientific activities organizes scientific seminars, conferences of scientists in various countries, promote research in the field of the mathematics, physics, and geology, improve equality of videos and press, also helps to improve communication in developing countries. So you can see that there are many types and many kinds of work in the which is doing UNESCO. So we can see, and I will explain you in detail also step by step. First of all, we will discuss the educational field. The aim of the UNESCO is to remove illiteracy because the illiteracy is the major problem of many kinds or many countries. It is the major problem of many countries. As you can see, our first point is based on the education because here you can see the in the name of UNESCO, we can see its different departments, educational department, scientific, and culture. So this organization is working on a vast area like education, science, and culture. Okay. Removal of illiteracy, education of the women and girls, financial help to disabled children, children like which are not the normal children, they have any type of disability, as they are maybe they are retarded, mentally retarded, maybe they are physically retarded. So these children are also called special children. So it also works for these children, and it works for these children, and it gives the financial help to the institutions, to those institutions or organizations which are working with these special people. Is it clear? Every country has also the department with the name, in Pakistan. It is the department with the name Social Welfare Department, and this department is working for the betterment of disabled persons. So UNESCO is trying to help these departments on the government level, and it helps the people or and government to take care disabled children. Is it clear? The meaning of this line? Okay. Promotion of education. UNESCO is also working for the promotion of education, organizing different type of the book fairs and exhibition for the promotion of books in different countries in different on different times. Is it clear? Now we will revise once again. The main purpose of UNESCO is removal of illiteracy because it is the main problem of all the countries of the world. Most of the countries are having having very high illiteracy rate. So UNESCO tries um, um, to help these countries to get high rate of literacy. So education of people, women and girls is a major issue in many of the countries, especially in South Asian countries. Women and girls are not much educated, and in urban areas, women and girls are educated, but in villages and in backward areas, people do not allow their women and girls to get education. So UNESCO helps the governments, it gives the funds It collects the funds and it gives financial help to the countries for resolving this issue. Is it clear? So we have discussed about the disabled children. This point I have told you about the financial help, how it helps the disabled children. Promotion of education. For the promotion of education, UNESCO organizes fairs and exhibitions in many countries. Its headquarters is in Paris. So underline these lines and write down these lines in your book. Next one is scientific activities. You can see in the name of the UNESCO, we can see the also the scientific activities. So I have told you earlier that these all type of the helps. It gives like to promote research. If any country wants any type of the research in any kind of research, so it helps them. It helps them to improve the quality of press also and communication. Developing countries, communication means it helps to improve communication. It means press and the communication means of communication. Is it clear? Beta, I have told you earlier, Ramla, it is on the page number 4 and 5. Next one is the third type of work which have done UNESCO, preservation of the cultural heritage. Heritage means historical places, historical buildings. Is it clear? Provides funds, equipment to preserve monuments and other work, protect world inheritance of buildings and architecture, and it also encourages artistic creations in the literature and fine arts. Fine arts means drawings and many type of the fine art work which is being done on many in many buildings also. It is called carving, and these all types of things, or the it also helps the fine art departments. UNESCO played an important role in listing the different type of the buildings which are called World Heritage Sites. So you can see also these type of the lines in your book. And what is mean by the World Heritage Site? It means those buildings which are very famous in the different in the different countries, and their history is good. So these and their architecture is very good and very beautiful. So UNESCO helps these type of the heritage to help to preserve these type of the heritage, and it helps the governments of different countries so they can preserve these historical buildings. It provides funds, equipment, and manforce also to protect these heritage, and it protects these buildings and monuments for any type of the damage through the cooperation of the government of these relevant countries. Is it clear? So these are the duties of UNESCO, and you can see in your last line that UNESCO plays an important role in listing the which are buildings are called can be called World Heritage Sites, and these buildings are also present in Pakistan, like Mohenjo-daro, Lahore Fort. These are the buildings are called World Heritage Site, and this is a big thing, beta. Important heritage sites all over the world are listed as World Heritage Site. Write down the meaning of this. Important historical buildings over throughout the world listed as World Heritage. So these are the duties of UNESCO. Next one is FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, and its headquarters is in Rome, Italy. It was organized by the Economic and Social Council, and we have discussed about Economic and Social Council as an organ of United Nations in our previous lecture. Functions of the FAO to look after the food and agricultural needs of the world. As you can see, this is also the name of the FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization. So it cope up with scarcity of food. Scarcity of food means there is less food for their people. So it helps in those countries, in developing countries, where the population is in high rate and their natural resources are less than their needs. The world by increasing their food, forest, and other resources. It also helps to the countries to grow the forest. It also helps the countries in their to increase their agricultural needs, provide technical assistance to improve food quality. So all these problems are because of fast increasing in the population. FAO helps countries to increase their food capacity. It provides help to the different countries which are overpopulated and they have less resources. FAO also helps these countries to increase forests and other resources. It also provides technical assistance to improve their food quality by using different modern techniques and if they can be able to apply these different type of the modern techniques in their agricultural field, so they can improve their quality of food. So these are all the works and duties of the FAO. Next one is WHO, World Health Organization. It was organized by the Economic and Social Council, like FAO, and functions of this organization is it helps countries to improve their health system by building infrastructure and manpower and institutions. WHO gives important drugs mean medicine, needs for medical care, and it also promotes research to cure and to prevent diseases. And it also helps the countries to save water, drinking water, and waste disposal. Is it clear? Fighting and preventing disease. It also helps the governments of the different countries in fighting and preventing diseases like malaria and typhoid and other kind of the diseases. Define standards for strength and for purity and medicine. Is it clear? Are you listening me? Okay. This organization is actually beta medical medical help to the countries and suggests ways of preventing the spread of diseases. It also gives facts and figures about any pandemic. For example, nowadays we are facing COVID-19 pandemic. This organization provides information about corona daily basis. It informs different ways to the governments about their spread of the diseases, and it helps to the governments in precautions as well, taking precautions in their country. It also helps in finding the ways and solutions of different type of diseases. Is it clear? Next one is ILO, International Labour Organization, and its headquarters is in Geneva in Switzerland. Is it clear? In Switzerland. Okay. So it is the organization which helps the labor which is working anywhere in any country, any type of the work they are doing, even in the factories or any type of the work. It helps the all type of the laborers. It was also organized by the Economic and Social Council. It was established in 1990, 1919. Then League of the Nation was formed. It was also formed. Then it was not the member of the in the start. It was not the member of United Nations, but in 1946 it became the member of United Nations. Each member states have a representative from the government as well as the employees and the workers. So every government of the country or every member of the United Nations has the member of having membership in ILO. Is it clear? So it is the organization which helps the labor. The aim of the ILO is to improve work conditions for laborers throughout the world. And first of all, it was established, as I told you, in 1919. Secondly, its member states have to send representatives from the government as well as employers and workers. Any type of the member it is present in this organization, while the other organizations and agencies are also present. This organization also has the other organizations and agencies which are already helping the laborers. ILO also deals with the governments as well as the different type of the NGOs and organizations. All the previous organizations are working with the help of the different governments of the different countries, but this organization is also help the NGOs which are being formed in the different countries. So this is an organization which helps which gives help to the neighbors. Is it clear? So next one is World Bank. The World Bank offers loans to the countries and helps with their development and granting reconstruction loans to the devastated countries and granting developmental loans. Also, it also providing loans to governments in agricultural field, irrigation and power, water supply, education and health. In all these departments and in all these areas, in all these problems, World Bank helps the gives different kinds of the help in the different countries. And the full form of this is International Bank of Reconstruction and Development, and its headquarters is in Washington DC. Is it clear? Okay. Next one is in 1947, when Pakistan and India developed a serious dispute over the water of the eastern river of Punjab. It helps to resolve this dispute and it also made an agreement between these two countries. And this is the best example of the working type of the World Bank. How we can see that how can this bank help the other countries, and you can see your heading also role of the World Bank in Indus Basin Water Treaty, and this is also called the name of this feud is Indus Basin Water Treaty. In 1947, when this when Pakistan and India developed a serious dispute over water of the eastern river of Punjab, the dispute was carried for more than a decade. It means it carried on for more than 10 years. It might ended up into another war between the countries. If World Bank did not help these countries, it might ended up into another war. It might be possible that another war was started. So in 1960, India and Pakistan both agreed to sign a treaty with the World Bank, which is called the Indus Basin Water Treaty. So write down these lines in your notebook, and also you can underline these books in your book. World Bank also provides money for the constructions of any type of dams, beta. It also helps those countries who can build and who can build any type of the dam, or who wants to build any type of the dam on any river. So it provides money for them. It also provided money for building dams to Pakistan also in past, like Karbela Dam and Mangla Dam. Karbela Dam is near Rawalpindi, and Mangla Dam is near Jhelum. So these are the main agencies of our today's lecture, and these are the main agencies of the United Nations. And we can see that these are their work, and we can see that how they help the other countries. Any question if you want to ask me, you can ask any type of question, beta. Time is running. Are you there? Yes, Halima, Subhan, Zuhaib, are you listening me? Okay, good. Okay, beta. So, beta, inshallah, we will meet in our next lecture with a new topic, with a new chapter, and our new chapter is United. Our new chapter is the universe. Is it clear? Okay. Any question? Beta, your homework will be uploaded on Google Classroom today, inshallah. After your class. Okay, beta. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Beta, turn off your cameras.